وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المظلومين المعصومين سيما بقية الله في الأرضين عجل الله تعالى فرجه الشريف ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. We continue tonight with the 31st letter of Nahj al-Balagha, where Amir al-Mu'mineen is addressing his son as an extension, the Islamic community, the young Islamic ummah. Last night we spoke about the concept of enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. The Imam stated, وَأْمُرْ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ تَكُنْ مِنْ أَهْلِ. Enjoin others to do good, and you shall be among the good doers. وَأَنْكِرِ الْمُنْكَرَ بِلِسَانِكَ وَيَدِكَ. And forbid others, desist others from engaging in evils with your speech and also with your actions, your hands. وَبَايِنْ مَنْ فَعَلَهُ بِجُهْدِكَ. And also distance yourself from the person who commits these actions that are evil and are displeasing to Allah. So, last time we spoke about the general importance of being conscious of the responsibility that comes with living in a community, with living with others, and how we can summarize the salvation of the Muslim community, and as an extension, the salvation of all of humanity is dependent on the acknowledgement of the responsibility of the actions of others as they are the actions of our own. And how the old Imam earlier in the letter spoke about this. He said, the reason why I'm even writing this will, the reason why I'm even advising you, is when I reflected inwardly and I thought about myself and I thought about my own, I saw you there and I found you there, and I found that which was important to me was important to you, that which befell you befell me. And hence I saw you as an extension of myself, not separate from me, rather my whole. So this is the realization that the Imam is not having, but the realization that the Imam is expressing, wherein if a person truly reflects inwardly, they will eventually have this epiphany that other creations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are not separate from him or herself, rather they are extensions of him or herself, and all of us are now extensions of the existence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, now there's a network that's been created. Once I say me and I am assuming that there is factions, that I am one entity, there are other entities, and God is an entity. We call this in Islamic teaching associating partners with God, shirk, or in some forms polytheism. Why? Because you're acknowledging your existence alongside the existence of God as an independent. Please, let's not misunderstand ourselves here. Let's not misunderstand here, because there are other very technical discussions getting into philosophical discussions of whether we are God, we are not God. That's not what we're talking about right now. But at the very least, the acknowledgement that our existence, as it exists, is an extension and is a dependent on a being that exists that is independent. Now, each one of us see ourselves in the same position, and hence we are all in the same boat. So each of us are responsible for one another. And we spoke about that in the hadith of the Holy Prophet. I just want to share a few reflection points when it comes to actually practicing this culture of enjoining the good and forbidding the evil. Because it's difficult, really, like we said last night. There are certain challenges that come when a person allows him or herself to extend their authority or their sense of responsibility to another person. And specifically because this is such a taboo in today's world for a person to care about the actions of the other or engage themselves in the actions of the others. And the Muslim community, to some extent, has also fallen prey to this. We need to be conscious of that. So a few things to reflect on when it comes to doing that. Number one, like we said in many other discussions, the Holy Quran says, remember not to forget the self. Don't ever forget yourself. Like we said, we're all extensions of one another. So make sure you don't at least forget the origin that is yourself before looking to the extensions. In the Holy Quran, Surah Al-Baqarah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ. Do you bid others or enjoin others to God consciousness, God wariness, and you forget yourselves? وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابِ. While you read the book, you read the scripture, you read the revelation. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do you not think? Do you not exercise your reason? Allah says, again, what kind of a conduct is this? Good, you feel responsible to help other people. But a helping of other people when forgetting the self is not a helping that is constructive. It's a helping that stems from a person's ego. It stems from a position of betterness, of superiority, that I don't have to worry about myself because everything is perfect here. Now I need to look at the other person and say, brother, sister, this and that. So number one, not to forget the self. Always look inward to see, what can I change? Number two is, like we said previously when the Holy Imam spoke about admonishing other people, advising other people. Before a person even allows himself to admonish or to advise, they have to love. Before you can even admonish and advise yourself, you have to love yourself. Without loving yourself, you don't care about yourself. And you have to feel the love of yourself before you begin to actually listen to yourself. To which self? The self that's telling you, get things in order. Like we said, there are different voices, there are different faces of the self. They're always in a constant battle. We call these the nafs and the different stages or the different faces of the nafs. Lawama, ammara, bisu, mutma'inna, all of these different things. So first love the self and then love to advise and better yourself. Then when it comes to your brother and your sister, you have to not only love them, you have to express the love. In hadith it says, if you care for a person, if you love for a person, tell them, verbalize it. Tell them, brother, sister, I love you. It's so hard sometimes for us to say these things. Even to the people who are most dear to us, our parents. Sometimes it's hard to tell our parents, I love you, mom, I love you, dad. Or your siblings, I love you, my brother, I love you, my sister. It's hard. Why? The parents, sometimes it's hard for them to tell their children, I love you. To kiss them, to hug them, to show affection. For whatever reason, either society has told us it's a sign of weakness or we feel weird, we feel out of place. No. Verbalize it. And in action that should be felt as well. That means the Muslim community should be at a level, humanity should be at a level now that every single person feels like they are brothers and sisters truly with the other person. And once you're a brother and sister, now you have the flexibility, you have the ability, you have the authority, you have the permission to make those sort of statements and to act as an advisor. The Holy Prophet in Hadith says, Al-mu'minu mir'atul mu'min. A believer is the mirror. He mirrors, she mirrors the other believer. Meaning what? That means if you have a mirror in front of you, you have to look at the mirror and see, how do I look? And if something's out of order, you need to fix it. So first you need to make sure that the mirror here is what? The mirror doesn't have a problem with you. The mirror is only showing you what you are. So don't get mad at the mirror. If a person doesn't like what they see, sometimes they take the anger out on the mirror. They break the mirror. Okay, well, what did the mirror do? It's just showing you who you are. What purpose does that serve? To show anger and aggression to the mirror? Nothing. Okay, so that's irrational. Number two is that when they do show you this character that you have, make sure you do understand that the role that the brother or the sister is playing is to play the role of the mirror. So, like we said, love first, advice second. Make sure that we all playing the roles of being mirrors for one another. We should feel responsible. If there are things that we can better ourselves or our brothers and sisters can better themselves in, we feel responsible that we tell them. And then the next point that I just want to talk about a few minutes, and it may be a little bit more sensitive, but we've already passed that point now. We're at the point of no return, at least the relationship we have with one another in these nights, we're at the point of no return. It's okay. But I'll try to keep it pretty civil. When it comes to enjoining the good and forbidding the evil, and with this presumption that we've established that brotherhood and that sisterhood, now where do we begin? A lot of times because we either feel a sense of responsibility or a false sense of responsibility, we say, well, I have to enjoin the good and forbidding the evil because the hadith from Imam Baqir last night that we read says, if you don't do that, through this, all of your other actions find meaning. That means without doing this, your prayers don't have meaning, your fasts don't have meaning, your charity doesn't have meaning, because you've lost it. There's an imbalance now. Once it's imbalanced, it's going to topple. Okay, so now I have to do this. So what do I do? A person like me, a person who's weak in their faith, a person who's quick to judge, a person who is quickly looking to perform their religious duty and kind of move on, I look for easy targets. Easy targets in the form of people, easy targets in the form of things that they should change. Okay, I'll give you a few examples again from what I have observed and what I'm perhaps guilty of myself. Number one, and I'll start with, again, a sensitive one. The first thing a lot of us, like someone like me does, because I look to the other person for faults, I look perhaps to the other gender for faults. So I look to the sister and say, okay, let me find the person who has the worst hijab. Once I find the person who has a worse hijab, I block my target and say, this person, their hijab is bad. Let me go tell them, because specifically it's a masjid here. How can I have bad hijab at the masjid? And then I go and I release all of my religiosity in one force, in one strike. Sister, it's the masjid. Cover yourself. Oh my God, this person, I don't know what kind of a mirror that is, but that's a strong mirror. That's a mirror that brings that image to life. And the person feels terrible. So, if the initial approach is like this, and the person knows that they're an easy target. They know that. People are not dumb. They know. So the first thing they're going to think is, okay, did this advice stem out of love? Is it because they love me or because I'm an easy target? The first thing they're going to think is, okay, they singled me out. I was easy. They came. They feel a sense of accomplishment. They leave. Now I feel terrible about what they did and I want to disassociate with that person. That person no longer is my brother or sister. Because my brother or sister would never talk to me like that. Recitation of the Quran. Okay, listen. We know Quran was revealed in Arabic and it should be recited in a proper Arabic. Okay, that's fine. I don't think anyone has a problem with that. But many of us may not be Arab speaking and many of us would like to learn how to read the Quran. Okay, we're going to have problems in our recitation. Okay. You're my brother, you're my sister. I expect you to come in, tell me you're reading this wrong, and offer to help me. But if the only thing you do every time you see me is, brother, wala talleen. Didn't ask me how I was doing, you didn't greet, didn't ask me what my name was. Brother, I heard you, okay, it's okay. I heard you reciting, and it looks like you say wala zalleen. It's wrong, it's wala talleen. Okay. Good, okay, that's fine. It's something I need to fix, I fix it. But if the extent of my enjoying the good is only that, brother, your recitation, your ayn is not a ayn, your ghayn is not a ghayn. My ghayn is not a ghayn. Also, my rent is not paid either, brother. Can you help me pay the rent? And maybe that'll help my ghayn become ghayn. Brother, your clothes are not, for example, it's not Islamic attire. Okay. Brother, your thobe is too long. Okay, it's long. No problem, I'll roll it up. But what about everything else? Sometimes, like I said, we look for these easy targets. The youth, we corner them. We make them feel bad about themselves, and then we release. I feel good about myself, I've said something, I've done something. I parented, and I release them now back into the wild. If we are going to approach these easy targets, let's at least make an effort to go after the ones that are more critical, that are also important. Maybe a person is actually suffering from a traumatic problem. They have a stress in their life. They're depressed. If my only concern is to make sure that, sister, make sure your hair is not up, because when I see it, I don't feel as religious anymore. But the sister is suffering from depression, severe depression, because she's being bullied at school, because her friends are not good friends to her, because her parents are abusive, because her siblings are abusive, because they have a secret they can't tell anybody. They have to internalize it. And they feel shunned from the Muslim community. And all that the Muslim community can offer is how their appearance is. People have anger issues. Okay, this is something that needs to be addressed. We're here to help one another. I can't always turn my back. When the person is everything is happy-go-lucky, we're all friends. Then when the person throws a tantrum, I don't want to get myself involved in that. The person has bad friends, bad peers. He's involved in things, or she's involved in things she shouldn't be. They've been introduced to drugs. They've tried drugs. Now they can't stop. They want to. They can't. Someone introduced them to that, offered them to that. They did it once, twice. Now they're addicted. They don't know what addiction is. They don't know how to beat an addiction. Now they're addicted. They need help. Muslim community says, oh, brother, you do drugs? Masjid's not a place for that. You reek. You smell when you come here. You smell cigarettes. You smell marijuana. We shouldn't have that in the masjid. We're trying to pray here. We're trying to get spiritual, not like that. Right? We're trying to get high, not like that. So, I don't have anything. That guy's that's sisters. No, relationship problems. How are you? Everything good? Yes, everything is good. But I know that this woman, for example, is in an abusive relationship. I know that. But I don't want anything to do with that. Why? Because if I do, then I have to involve myself in, it's personal, it's marital. Let him go see a counselor. Okay, I'm not a counselor, but at least I can be an intermediary to help them go seek counseling correctly as a sign of love. Otherwise, if I know when I leave them, I'm responsible for that. And we also give examples like last night of caring for the guests. We had many guests that came 2 nights ago, if I'm not mistaken. Some of them also joined us last night. Okay. When they came that night, it's very easy to identify a person who is a regular and is not a regular. A person who belongs and a person who's out of place. People very quickly see. Islam teaches us, if a person is your guest, all of your attention should be on the guest. All of your attention. Everything. That means everything, no one else, nothing else should exist. All of your attention should be on the guest. I'm not making a judgment on this community, but many communities I've gone, they invite guests themselves, and when they bring them, they leave them alone. They alienate them. They abandon them. They're just kind of free roaming, don't know what to do. The guest doesn't know what to do. No one even gives them food. Just kind of roaming around. Everyone else is kind of like this. Forget that. So enjoying the good, forbidding the evil. Quickly, when we see these things, we need to be sharp. One person says, hey, that person looks like they're a guest here. They call other people, brother, sister, right here, guest. Go sit with them. Go speak with them. I know you haven't seen this person in months. That's your own fault. You don't come to the masjid enough? Okay. We'll figure that out on another night. Tonight we have guests. We don't have, that dirty laundry. We don't take care of that when we have guests in the house. Unless really we're a dysfunctional family. We're a dysfunctional family when we do that kind of stuff in front of guests. That's bad. Okay. So enjoying the good and forbidding the evil, we should make sure that it's not only confined to those things that are easy and convenient. Because if it is, we haven't really helped anything or anyone. We've just helped ourselves. And hence it should stem from that position of love. I want to give you an example of hadith that's been narrated from the Holy Prophet. Sometimes, to help another person, really all it takes is for you to show your love, your affection by speaking to them, just talking to them. Salam, brother, how are you? What's your name? Where do you go to school? Where do you work? How long have you been here? Do you have any siblings? Just at that level even. Show that you care. Show some interest in the person. And you'll be surprised by even opening up that channel of communication, the person will share with you things that are so intimate. Why? Because he feels like you honestly care. If you're able to express that to another person, naturally humans were looking for other people to open up to. We have problems. We don't have the solutions to all of our problems. There are other people. They may have also experienced what we've experienced. We need to use from the experience of other people. But if I keep it all inside, then I can't help myself. Then I suffer. We all do that. We collectively suffer. Then you have a community, you have a nation that everyone's individually depressed. Where if they talk to each other, they all have the same problems. Brother, your child is sick, my child was sick. Your child passed away, my child passed away. This is how I dealt with it. Your child's on drugs, my child was on drugs. Your child has an anger problem, you have an anger problem, your father has an anger problem, your husband is abusive. I experienced that too. These are my experiences. The person, oh, you did? Okay, well, I'm going through that right now. What can I do? We're here for each other. And not to dismiss when a person says, I have a problem, or even their appearance shows that they have something that's imbalanced. We quickly look to them and say, well, no, not you, not now, not you. A young man came to the Holy Prophet. They were sitting and people were gathering and asking all the religious questions. Ya Rasulullah, what about this verse? What does this verse say? What is the commentary on this verse? The angels are like this. In heaven it's going to be like what? In hell, what's going to happen? A young man came to the Prophet and said, I have a question. Okay, ask your question. From afar he said, O Holy Prophet, will you give me permission to perform adultery? What? Everyone got upset. What? Watch your mouth. This is the messenger of God here. What kind of a question is that? Make a mockery of this? People got visibly upset. They were going to get physical. The Prophet very calmly said, okay, open up, let him come forward. He said, the Holy Prophet, he wasn't trying to make a joke. He said, I have this inclination. I feel like I find myself in a position that I'm inclined towards committing adultery. I want to have a relationship with another woman that I'm not married with. Can I do that? Can I not do that? Do you give me permission or not? The Prophet said, okay, let me ask you a few questions. Number one, he said, would you like for someone to do that with your mother? And the young man said, no, I would not like that. Okay. Would you like someone to do that with your sister? No, I wouldn't like for someone to have that kind of relationship with my sister. And then the Prophet asked again, would you like someone to have that relationship, for example, with your daughter in the future? So I said, no, I wouldn't like that for someone to do that with my daughter. He said, but if you don't like that, then how will you allow yourself to do that when you don't allow anyone else? You would not like that, but you find that pleasurable, you find that pleasing. The child thought to himself and he said, well, you're right. I thought that, I had that inclination, I had that urge, but now when I think about it, it's something wrong. I wouldn't allow anyone else to do it. Why should I allow myself? The Prophet very simply says, okay, what's your problem? What are your issues right now? Come and tell me. Let's talk about it. You like to do drugs? You think they're fun? You think they're enjoyable? You think that you'll have a good time with them? Okay, let's talk about it. And let us share what we know, what we've experienced about why that's not the case. Getting angry doesn't solve anything. Pushing people away doesn't solve anything. When we push away, the next person is not going to push away. They're going to include them. They're going to accept them. But what are they going to accept them with? With these things. With drugs, with alcohol, with committing indecent sexual acts, wasting their time, playing certain video games, watching certain movies, going on certain sites, spending time, wasting their time doing this, and that. Okay. If we say no, other people are willing to say yes. And hence we need to remember that regardless of where the person finds themselves, whatever they're struggling with, Islam never allows you to turn your back. The only time we're allowed to disassociate is when enough resources, efforts has been put, and the person is adamant in that they don't want any help. Only at that point, that you're for sure 100%, that's when you say, okay, well, I've tried my best. We're not able to do that. Okay, so what should I do now if the people that I generally associate with are like this? The Holy Imam says, enjoying the good, you will become one of them. Distance yourself from the people that you know are no good for you. Okay, what if everyone around me is no good? What should I do? We're human, we have to socialize. Majority of people are not good, what should I do? Either I'm going to live in solitude, right? I'm going to imprison myself, or I'm going to have to associate. Well, what am I? This is the country, the time that we live in. The Holy Prophet said, the Imam said, that's fine. Live by yourself, live in solitude. For you to live by yourself, al-wahdatu khayrun min jalis as-su'. It's better for you to be alone than for you to be with someone who is harmful to you, who's a bad friend, who's a bad associate. وَالْجَلِيسُ الصَّالِحُ خَيْرٌ مِنَ الْوَحْدَةِ. And once you find a good person, for you to be with good people, it's better for you to be alone. So these are a few things that we need to remember, and we need to work on them, actively work on them. There are a lot of people that, for one reason or another, have moved away from their religion. And I can tell you, again, from my little limited experience and observations, I can tell you in most cases they have a good right to have distanced themselves from religion, religious thought, religious practice, and anything relating to God. I can tell you, again, from my little experience, they all have good reason. Because none of these principles of religious thought were practiced. Okay, so I'll end there, inshallah. What we'll do tomorrow night, we'll move on with the advices that the Imam is giving. Let's end right now with the salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad.